I'm thinking this one because 39 minutes seems like a good time frame. All right, alerts are off. CCs are on.
On the 2nd of August, 2017, at
Anytime.
approximately
Prime
5:15
time.
p.m., 21-year-old Savannah Gold left her parents' home and drove to San Jose Boulevard in Jacksonville, Florida. She had a 5:30 shift at the Bonefish Grill, a casual
Never even heard of
seafood
that.
restaurant where she worked as a waitress. But on this occasion, she never showed up. It was a fairly quiet Wednesday afternoon at the diner. Her absence wasn't too much of a strain, so the on-duty supervisor simply took her hours off the roster for that day and thought nothing else of it. Suspicions only arose roughly 1 hour and 15 minutes after Savannah had left the house, as her father received a text message from her phone number.
I just entered to tell you and Mom, I met a really great guy and we are running away together. I love him and we are leaving to IT. I'll call you later when we get to where we are glong. Glong.
Savannah's older brother also received a text 43 seconds later.
Hey, quit. I'm leaving with my boyfriend. I can't do this shit, anything. I'm fine. Just want to get away.
Although both texts came from Savannah's number, her family knew right away that something wasn't right. She had just left the house in what appeared to be very high spirits, but now proclaimed to be running away with an unidentified man without packing so much as a change of clothes. Not only that, but the text messages were riddled with errors and composed in a completely different way to how she would normally write. Her phone was switched off when they tried calling just minutes after receiving the texts, so they immediately called her place of work and found out that she hadn't shown up. It was at that point they called police and filed a missing persons report. Savannah had been gone for less than 2 hours. Roughly 40 minutes later, her car was found unlocked and abandoned in the Bonefish Grill parking lot, and the only thing missing was her phone. Her wallet, ID, and a number of other valuable items had not been taken. Investigators went through the parking lot surveillance tapes and discovered what would then become the primary piece of evidence for the case. The majority of footage remains undisclosed to the public, but a detailed description of what occurred has already been released. What we know is that Savannah parked her car and stepped out of the vehicle at exactly 5:31 p.m. She then walked over to another vehicle and conversed with the occupant for 14 minutes through the driver's side window. She then got into the back seat of said vehicle at 5:45 p.m. 14 seconds later, the car began to shake sporadically as if some type of struggle was occurring inside. The rear door swung open 3 times, but was immediately and forcefully shut each time. It appeared as though someone was attempting to get out, but couldn't. This lasted for 49 seconds until the vehicle suddenly stopped moving. A male figure was then seen getting out and proceeded to walk over to Savannah's car that was 20 feet away. The surveillance was grainy, and the person could not be identified from the footage alone. All that police could ascertain was that he had short brown hair and was roughly 5'11". The unidentified person reached into Savannah's car and took out what police believed was her phone. He then slashed the front tire with a knife before walking back to his own vehicle. He got in and drove away from the scene at exactly 6:04 p.m. Savannah was never seen exiting the car. This was a crucial piece of evidence, and essentially all investigators had to go on. They had to find out who the man was in the video, and fast, but they also had to be careful in how they conducted their investigation. They couldn't let anyone find out they had this footage in their possession, as knowing this information could allow a suspect to alter their alibi to fit with the evidence. This would take a significant advantage
Or they
away
would
from
change
investigators
cars.
during interrogation, and would hinder their ability to build a case to a considerable degree. Over the following 2 days, investigators briefly interviewed all the staff at the Bonefish Grill. For the most part, these encounters consisted of just 3 questions. When was the last time you saw Savannah? Do you know where she is? And is there anything you know that could help with our investigation? Within 48 hours, they had 3 potential suspects, whose names were then ran through the motor insurance database. The first suspect
was that?
didn't have a license. The second suspect owned a bright red 2001 Jeep Cherokee, while the third suspect was registered to a 2012 silver Chevy Malibu,
Well,
an
that looks
identical
like it.
match to the vehicle seen on
Oh,
surveillance.
wow, that was a
His
cool
name
shot.
was Lee Rodarte, Chevy Malibu, an identical
That's a
match
really
to the
cool
vehicle seen
transition.
on
Literally
surveillance.
lined it
His
up
name
perfectly.
was Lee Rodarte. He was 28 years old and was both the manager and head chef at the Bonefish Grill. Coincidentally, he was the first person to be interviewed at the diner about Savannah's disappearance, where he told investigators that he hadn't seen her in about 3 weeks and knew nothing of her current whereabouts. It was only from his co-workers that police discovered he was having an on and off relationship with Savannah for the last 8 months, despite it being against company policy. From what investigators could gather, this was a very popular individual, rising fast through the ranks of his chosen profession. He was known for his charm and charisma amongst his colleagues, and also had a lot of success when it came to the opposite sex. On all accounts, his life seemed to be going very well, but he was now the prime suspect in a kidnapping investigation, and the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office planned their next steps in meticulous detail. At around 5:15 p.m. on August 5th, police arrested Rodarte while midway through his shift at work. They told him it was for an outstanding traffic warrant and took him to the JSO police department.
Can you do me a favor? I'm gonna have you take that apron off, too, just to kind of get it right there. I'll stay right out here. You can go ahead and have a seat for me real quick. I'll be right back, okay?
Yes, sir.
The officer said he would be right back, yet Lee was left to sit there for 90 minutes with nothing but his own thoughts to keep him company. Now, think of yourself in his position, and presume you were guilty of whatever happened to Savannah, and that whatever happened was something truly horrific. In the present moment, you have just been arrested for an outstanding traffic warrant, yet you were interviewed the day before about your co-worker's disappearance. A million and one things will be running through your mind about what could happen next, and as each second ticks by, the anxiety this will cause will begin to fester and slowly intensify. However, the optimism of uncertainty would still be present. There would still be hope, but this hope is about to be dashed.
The strategy to keep them in there is basically what he said, where it's kind of to stress them out. Yeah, it's to kind of wear him down a bit. I mean, it's not amazingly effective, but it keeps them kind of anxious because they want to get it over with.
The sound of the door opening would have been a pleasant relief from the monotonous cycle of Rodarte's own thoughts, yet this brief moment of alleviation would have instantly converted to shock as Detective Ray Reeves walked through the door, the same investigator who had interviewed him about Savannah the day prior.
Hey, man. How you doing? Good, good. You remember me from the other day, Detective Reeves? Okay.
It would have been at this moment that Lee realized his situation was far more severe than he was hoping. The relative optimism he would have felt during the initial
Puns, I have to play against you, Ant Frost, and Gumi, and I haven't played in like 2 weeks. How's that fair? I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Apparently we have a guy who's radiant though. I don't know, dude. We'll see. I'll play a game and it'll be fun, and then I'll lose and do something else. But anyway, we got to go back to the crime.
90 minutes on his own will now be gone, which in turn will greatly magnify the contrasting sense of fear he will now be experiencing.
This is my partner, Detective Staley. She was interviewing some of the other folks, the waiters and other staff people the other day, so she didn't get a chance to come in at the time. I wanted to talk to you, or actually we wanted to. You want some more water?
Please. Actually, would it be all right to use the restroom one more time?
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking run, isn't he? He's definitely gonna try to bail, isn't he? No?
You want some water?
Please. That'd be all right.
Yeah. You got water?
In and out, in and out, in and out. Oh, just handcuffs on the door. It's whatever. Oh, you guys can't see it. There's handcuffs on the door just hanging. Not implying anything right there.
Like I said, I want to kind of go over some stuff. I know we talked the other day just for a few minutes and had some concerns about a couple things. And, oh, okay. Well, there we go. Somebody else wants to talk. There we go.
2 waters.
I was talking about Savannah. So I just had a couple of
Holy
things
shit.
that came up that I wanted to ask you about specifically that didn't seem to line up. So I wanted to come down and talk to you. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Have you drank any alcohol today? Any drugs today?
I took an Adderall that my buddy gave me.
Okay.
Because I was there so late last night. I came in and was super tired. Like, here, take this.
Okay. Adderall?
Yeah.
And do you normally take that?
Nah, I've taken one a long time ago. Like, I wouldn't say high school, a little bit after high school, but it's been years.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. I appreciate that. All right. So, Savannah, you said that you knew her and you guys had, you knew her from work. I mean, just kind of fill me in with that. How long have you known her?
Like I said,
The detective starts off with an open-ended question. This gives the suspect total freedom and flexibility in how they wish to respond. It's commonly believed that people with nothing to hide are likely to give a short and concise response to these types of questions. For example, if Lee was completely unconcerned with what was going on, he could respond in 3 short sentences. I met her from work. I've known her for 2 years. We dated for a bit. To the contrary, if an individual does have something to hide, they are more likely to give a lengthy and detailed
Try
response.
to justify
The
stuff,
simple reasoning
you know.
behind this is that they are seeking approval. Imagine yourself in a job interview and you're asked an open-ended question, such as, "Tell me about yourself." You would feel the need to be thorough in order to please your potential employer. The psychological premise is exactly the same with regard to police interrogations, albeit under completely different circumstances. Guilty
Not
subjects
really
will
anything
see
to
the
prove,
interrogator as an
but it
imminent
does
threat
give them
and
stuff
will
to go
therefore
on.
attempt to appease this threat to prevent further aggression. Truthful subjects will have no fear nor concern with regard to the same element. They would see the interrogator as a mere inconvenience as opposed to a threat.
I've known her obviously since she started working there. I would say probably about 8 months ago or so, we started hanging out outside of work. And at the time I had a girlfriend. But we kind of connected, me and Savannah. So we hung out a little bit here and there. Got pretty close. We come from, I guess, somewhat similar backgrounds, I guess you should say.
What the fuck is he talking about?
She didn't have it the best growing up, neither did I. So we kind of connected, hung out for a little while, and then
It has nothing to do with. He just asked how he knew her.
Using drugs a lot.
Okay.
Now, I used them with her, not the same drugs that she used all the time, but I did them with her a couple times.
Bro, this guy's making a whole ass soliloquy right now.
Heavy into them, and
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
so.
Oh, right,
I
yeah.
kinda just,
Yeah, you know, I do like
try to take a
low-key
step
drugs
back
when someone does heavy
and,
drugs around me. Yeah, of course.
Put things off. Probably a month or so ago, I saw Savannah at work, and she looked healthy again. You know, she gained a little bit of weight, and just, you know, friendly talk at work, you know, telling her, you know, hope everything's been good. And she told me, you know, that I guess she did a lot of drugs.
What is this guy talking about?
She ended up missing, like, I want to say a couple of days, 3 or 4 days.
All
from
he
work.
asked was how he knew
So
her.
obviously, you know, me being pretty close to her, I was concerned and everything. But after she came back, you know, she looked good, and she ended up telling me that, I guess, you know, over those 4 days, she detoxed pretty well, and she kind of caught a, you know, new sense into why she shouldn't do drugs so
Good for her.
much.
Okay.
And like I said, she
This
looked
detective's
good,
like,
you know, she
what
started
the
looking
fuck?
healthy, so we kind of were talking, you know, here and there. We
The person down here has stopped writing. Can we talk about the person that's doing like the transcript just stopped?
hung out a couple times. She came over to the
That-
house.
I ain't writing all that.
Kick back, drink a couple beers, watch movies, stuff like that. Like I said,
The
we did,
camera's
you know,
got it. No.
We took like some pain pills here and there on occasion.
Please save that
And she
5.
started like bringing heroin over and stuff like
gotcha.
that. And that's, you know,
She actually just
my
gave
mom
up
was
writing.
addicted
Look
to
at her like
amphetamines when she was when
it's
I
like
was
messing with her
younger, so,
fingers. Like,
so it
what
was
do I
hard,
do?
like,
This is
hard
4 minutes
drugs to
long.
Scare me a little bit, so that's why I took a step back the first time. I ended up telling her, I was like, hey, you know, for one, I'm dealing with a lot of personal stuff myself right now as it is. You know, I'm a little depressed, but I think we're moving.
See the interrogological
Fill me in with that. How long have you known her?
Like I said,
The detective starts off with an
Kind of. Savannah, you said that you knew her and you guys had, you knew her from work. I mean, just kind of fill me in with that. How long have you known her?
like I said,
How long have you known her? Is the question.
personal stuff myself right now as it is. You know, I'm a little depressed. But I think we're moving too fast. I think we should, you know, stop.
Yeah, trying to get to the minimum word count on an essay right now, dude.
I understand. It's completely fine. No problem, you know. She said, I'll delete your number. I'll never text you again. And that was the last time that we text.
Okay.
When was that? When was that?
It was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Sometime in July.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, and I
maybe
think that's
she's
one of the
just
things
writing
you
down
said
like
was
important
that was the last
facts, maybe
time
not
she
everything, but
had contact with her.
Yes.
As far
that's
as,
amazing.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I mean, you correct me.
That was the last
anytime.
time that I texted her.
Yeah, text or a phone call or a messenger
Yeah.
or anything like that. 2 to 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Okay. And then the last time, when was the last time you saw her?
This is what I was a bit. I didn't tell you the truth when we talked up on Fish.
Okay.
Lee doesn't know the extent of the evidence, but he knows the investigators have something, and he now has no choice but to amend his alibi to some degree and give some form of admission. This allows the investigators to get one step closer to a confession, while also keeping the capacity of the evidence hidden until a more critical moment.
Well,
Last time I saw her was
lying on your alibi is grounds
Okay.
to detain you, so
I heard
why would you lie about it?
that she has been basically telling a lot of people at work that we hooked up a bunch, like a couple days before that, and that she was going to like tell about the whole situation and, you know, try to get me fired. And
Then
things
why
like
why
that.
would that get you fired? I
Well,
don't
I'm a manager.
He
and
did
she's
say
an
he
employee.
hadn't seen her for
Okay,
3
so you
weeks
guys
as
aren't
well.
supposed to fraternize
Yeah.
or- Okay, I got you.
And she just told
He did say that.
people, I guess, that she was out with that work at the restaurant that we were having sex.
Okay.
I pulled in the parking lot. She pulled in a little bit after me. I parked and I said, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" And she said, "Yeah, what's up?" And I was like,
He's straight up
"I
putting
heard
himself
you've
at the
been
crime
saying some
scene.
things about me and you continuing to hang out, and you know that we're boyfriend and girlfriend."
Idiot.
And
They have literal
she was-
footage.
She asked
So
me. She said,
He just
"Can
straight
I
up said
come
he was
sit
where
in
the
the
crime
car?"
scene is.
because I just did some heroin and I'm a little paranoid.
Heroin doesn't make you feel paranoid. It makes you extremely relaxed and oblivious to your surroundings.
Yes.
Some might argue that
Well,
heroin
mostly.
can cause paranoia depending on the user, yet Savannah
Yes.
was driving moments earlier and was about to start a shift at work. If she was using, she most certainly wasn't the type to get paranoid.
Okay.
I said, "Why are you doing that? You know, you're doing really well. You shouldn't have been doing that."
Okay.
And so she came and sat in the car, and I explained to her the situation. I told her that servers at Bonefish were coming to me and telling me that you're telling people when you're
Really quick, just for the people that weren't here for the beginning of the video, this guy is talking about this interaction in the parking lot. This footage where my mouse is a security pickup of them in the parking lot where they saw it pretty much happen. And he's just straight up admitting to it right here. So
out, that we're still having sex and we're boyfriend and girlfriend. And I said, I would appreciate, you know, I need you to stop.
half the time when the
Because, one,
police
it's
interview you,
taking
they
us
know
a
half
job.
of this shit anyway.
We
They just want you
agreed
to say it
you
because
know,
they want to
stop
really
talking
emphasize that
mutually
you're
and just
guilty.
move on and, you know, be cordial or whatever. But it was nothing more than that. And
Yeah, he
she
doesn't
said,
know,
"Fuck
but the
you,
police just want them to
you
say
know,
it.
you're a
Because
piece
like the
shit."
admittance
And I
of
said,
because pretty much he doesn't know that they're there. He doesn't know that they have the footage, and the footage is grainy at best. They have a good idea of the car, and they know he drives the car that makes the model of the car that they saw driving away. He doesn't know, one, they have the footage. He doesn't know, two, how bad the footage is. So if he didn't say any of this, somebody in court could argue that the footage is ambiguous at best, and it's hard to tell exactly who that is. So if he didn't literally place himself at the time of the crime in the same parking lot, you could literally argue that it's not him, because like they literally said, it's hard to make out who it is besides he has short brown hair. But he's literally like, yes, we talked outside in the parking lot The exact time she was killed, but whatever, it's fine.
She said she's gonna keep talking, telling lies and stuff about me and everything like that. And at that point,
Lee has just tried to cover his tracks as much as possible without giving away anything incriminating. He may have thought a witness saw him at the scene with Savannah and was most likely hoping the verbal argument was the extent of what was seen. He therefore gives away this detail in an attempt to come across as truthful. Yet as we know, the investigators have proof that Savannah never got out of the car, and he's about to lock himself into his second lie, which is exactly what the detectives want.
she had her phone in her hand, she got out of the car and walked towards the main entrance from San Jose.
So like if
So this is
like
Never left the car.
I wouldn't say she was walking along the edge of the plaza, but she was walking maybe towards this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say an older model Ford pickup,
Mm-hmm.
green,
Okay.
drove past me and around, and she got in.
Okay.
The suspect has now thrown away his best possible defense, which would have been that he drove away from the parking lot with Savannah, and that she got out at another destination where they then parted ways. If he had known about the surveillance footage, this would have no doubt been his revised narrative, but it's no longer possible due to this fabrication. This is now his stated alibi under caution, and any amendments that he might try to make at a later stage will have no credibility whatsoever.
So she gets out of the backseat and begins.
I'm not trying to help criminals, but this is why you don't say anything to a cop. Because anything you say can and will be used in a court of law. That's literally the Miranda rights. They'll use it. They'll fucking use it. Like, they'll be like, but you said this. So you said she got in a different car, so you can't retract that. You said under oath that she got in this green, what was it, a Ford Escape? She got in that green Ford Escape, and now you're saying she's not. Which one is it? Did you lie? Did you lie in? Are you lying in court, which is perjury, or were you lying in the interview? You know what I mean? Which ruins his credibility either way.
Walking.
Always get a lawyer. It doesn't matter if you're innocent. Get the lawyer. Get the lawyer. Does his defense have access to this footage before trial? Yes. So anything the prosecution puts forward as evidence, the defense also has the ability to see. So basically what happens before an actual trial is there's a I forget the term for it. It's like a preliminary trial pretty much, where the lawyers present, the prosecution presents their evidence, and the judge can decide whether or not that's enough evidence to put into a court set, like into the actual court for the jury to witness. Yeah, they can basically put something into discovery. That sort of thing happens like mid-trial, but it still has to be approved by the judge. So this is something that happens before a trial actually commences, where the prosecution throws evidence forward in order to have it be used during court or during trial. And the judge can decide how much of that is actually useful or relevant, etc. And even the defense can challenge the evidence put forward, and they can tell whether or not you're allowed to use it. And the defense can say this has nothing to do with the case. This is just like character assassination that has nothing to do with it, etc. You know what I mean? So this guy definitely is going to trial because he's an idiot. The prosecution will put the evidence forward of what happened in the parking lot, but the defense will also get access to it. But there's nothing they can do, because he literally put himself in that parking lot, and then he said she got in the car and got out and got in someone else's, but the footage shows that she never left the car. So the only move by the defense is to somehow get that footage taken out of court. Which I don't know how they would try to do that, but it's possible they can challenge the evidence and try to get it removed, but it's not, that's super relevant. Like, the only way to really get evidence removed is if it's not relevant to the case, or it doesn't really prove a point, like it's nonsensical, whatever. But this, like literally that, it's footage of her getting killed. So, you know what I mean?
Or in the direction of, not necessarily paralleling
Very
San
silly.
Jose, but she's walking towards 295 or down towards that entrance area.
Yeah.
And then she's got her phone, and you said you thought she was calling somebody?
The detective knows this alibi is completely fabricated, so you might be wondering why he's inquiring into it further. The truth is that he's not actually inquiring, only pretending to. The suspect's responses to these questions are of no importance, and the detective is not information gathering. He's simply getting the suspect to let his guard down as much as possible by making him think that he is being believed. As the suspect continues to convey this made-up narrative, his anxiety
He spent 5 minutes talking about his, like, all he asked was how he knew her, and he went on 5 minutes about like their history with drugs together and shit, and he was probably like, I fucking nailed it.
anxiety will slowly diminish. His belief that he is fooling the detectives will increase, and his heightened state of mind will decrease as a result. This is a well-known strategy, and the reason for this.
How do you get a defense attorney when you're arrested? So part of the Miranda rights is that if you're unable to get a lawyer will be assigned for you. So there's people in the criminal justice system called they're public defense attorneys. So it's a group of people who work for the state that you're in, and they are assigned random people to publicly defend if they're unable to afford a private attorney or don't already have one. So basically, if you end up getting arrested, which I don't recommend, but say you got arrested for nothing and you're just being picked up by the cops because they have some stick up their ass, they think you did something, but you don't know legal jargon, you don't have somebody who's a lawyer on hand, you don't have somebody like that. You know what? Ask for the attorney anyway, even if you don't have one in mind. They can give you a public defender. They have to give you a public defender. Unless you specifically tell somebody, unless you specifically tell a judge that you want to represent yourself, which unless you're legally, like, unless you're, law savvy, I wouldn't. They have to give you a lawyer. Like, you need to have a representative present during trial, unless you ask specifically to not have one. So they absolutely, you are supposed, like, if he doesn't ask for one, they aren't going to bring up a lawyer. But if he asks for a lawyer enough, which cops half the time aren't going to say shit because they're going to try to blow it off and try not to get the lawyer inside this fucking room, because a lawyer is smart enough to tell him what not to say. He's not going to tell him. He's going to tell this. He would have told this dude not to say anything about where he was this day, because he has nothing to tell the cop. I mean, the cop could still keep him there under suspicion that it's him because the car matches the footage, stuff like that. But he wouldn't have told exactly where he was, which means they could have used the camera footage to try to put doubt into the jury that it might not have been him at that parking lot. But he already basically said he was there, and also said she left the car, which she never did, because he didn't have somebody legally there to help him know what to fucking say. So whether you're innocent or not, get the fucking lawyer. Have a lawyer present. They know what they're talking about.
Strategy is because the detective is about to initiate the first confrontation. He wants to catch the suspect completely off guard.
She had it in her hand and looked like, I mean, I couldn't tell if she was texting or not or anything.
But she had her phone out.
Yeah, she had her phone out and was looking at it, and then it looked like she was going to put it up to her ear, and then the green truck came around.
Okay.
And
how long do you think it was between the time that she got out and started using her phone till that green truck pulled up?
This goes on for roughly 90 seconds, and Rodarte appears to be considerably more at ease.
295 all the way to Beach Boulevard to Grove Park, and then Grove Park.
How long does that usually take you? Depending on traffic, obviously.
I think it usually takes me about 25 minutes or so.
Okay. What happened to your neck?
we see a very sharp and very sudden switch. The suspect is taken from feeling assured to once again feeling threatened.
Stabbed
it's
him.
believed that when the immediate shift from one emotion to the
Stabbed
next
him
is
with
so
that physical
extreme,
evidence.
a suspect can become disoriented, and their ability to think critically can be affected. In other words, it's much harder for them to think up lies on the spot.
Especially if you let
or
him talk for
fabricate
30
emotion
minutes
in a
thinking
convincing manner.
that you believe them.
That was self-inflicted, actually.
After a long, nervous breath, he takes 3 seconds to respond, yet somewhat saves himself with the answer. The fact he stated his injuries were self-inflicted could give reason for the nervous breath and his hesitation to respond, as self-harm is a taboo subject, and some might be embarrassed or even ashamed to admit to it. The detective recognizes this and immediately puts him back on the spot.
Why?
I just have been having kind of a hard time.
I will say though, I mean, there's ways to tell exactly, like me scratching my neck like this, which first of all, this sort of thing, that sort of stuff's touchy, but I'll say like evidence wise, me doing this to myself and somebody doing that to me looks a lot different, and there's ways to tell. So they could just, it's probably a defensive wound from the victim. So but obviously it's
the first interjection from the female detective. She alludes to the fact that the neck is an unusual...
Wait. I didn't even know this was a second detective. She's just been... This interrogation's been almost 30 minutes and she said nothing. I'm so shocked. I thought she was just like writing... I guess she's still writing down evidence, but... I guess she was just like, this dude's killing it. I'm not going to interrupt. No, I did see her, but I thought she was just like writing down facts. I don't know. Yeah, I guess they're partners, observing. Maybe he's the he's probably the lead detective, or probably the older detective and has more experience. I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know how they would go 24 minutes without her saying anything. Maybe she's the kill shot.
Injury, essentially
maybe
stating
like,
that she's not buying it, but also refrains from applying too much pressure, which is being saved for a more pivotal moment at a later stage.
Yeah, I did. And
what did you use?
A knife.
When did you do that?
Some time.
She really just going in for the kill. He fucking warmed him up for 30 minutes, and now she's like, my turn.
Bloody?
Well, I kind of peeled the scab here and there at work, hitting it on stuff like that. I peeled it last night working.
Probably not the best advertisement for the Bonefish Grill if their head chefs are peeling their scabs off at work. But then again, the wounds are more than likely a fresh injury from his struggle with Savannah, and they hadn't been peeled off at all.
And it was coming off a little bit today, so I peeled that a little bit.
All right, let me see.
But this and this was the same night. This one was just a lot worse.
Yeah.
Than this one was.
Okay. And that was in July?
Yeah.
Okay. Like a few weeks back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice pause, dude.
When she's in the car, what does she say to you about what her plans are? So she's scheduled to work that night. Mm-hmm. So she's going to work?
She didn't talk about, I mean, I assumed she was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
She was in her uniform. But she didn't say, when she got out of the car, she didn't say anything after she got out of the car.
They further reinforce his confidence by going back to his narrative of the truck and allow him to convey the story in more meticulous detail. They are once again giving him a false sense of security, only to use it against him at the opportune moment.
And she gets in that
in
truck.
trial.
She, let's be honest, we won't even call her she, was Savannah. Okay? Savannah, again, with this picture, if we're using it in the same place, from where your drawing was, they drove over here. You're here, and they drive out over here. Do they stop? Does she get out and go into work? Does the truck keep going?
I didn't see once they turned the corner past the ATM.
Mm-hmm.
Once she got in and they left, I left because I just...
Did you run into them on the road anywhere?
Marinating the victim. Okay. Or the suspect, sorry.
Did she call you later on or text you later on?
Savannah, no.
Mm-hmm. No other contact with her?
No.
So where's Savannah right now?
I don't know.
Where would I find her?
I don't know.
This is a far more aggressive confrontation.
What crime are they questioning him on? A coworker of his didn't show up for work and texted her parents and older brother that she was running away with her boyfriend. And the police found footage of that parking lot of her going towards the car, getting in it, a struggle, look like the car shaking as if a struggle was happening, and then it's stopping, her not getting out, the car driving away. And it looks just like his car. So they're catching him in a lie because he's saying that she got out of his car and got into another one. So they're getting him to double down on his lie so they can give it. They're basically compiling more evidence against him. So they don't really care what he says here. They want him to commit to his lie more so they have more of a reason to keep him. Is pretty much the way this is. So they already know everything. They already know the footage. They already saw the footage. They know she didn't leave the car. He said that she did. They know that. They're trying to get him to commit more to it so they can pretty much keep him for sure. Be like, this guy's lying. We know he's lying because he's going completely against this literal evidence we have. So
accusation that the suspect is involved in Savannah's disappearance. Innocent subjects will usually reciprocate this aggression and respond to this
Water
type of
tastes a little
question with a
soapy. I hate
question
it.
of their own, such as, why
No
are you
lie.
asking me that? Or, what are you trying to say? They would openly recognize and refute the allegation, most often in a forceful manner. Lee had no emotional response whatsoever, nor an ounce of shock. He answered the question with a composed demeanor, almost as if he knew it was coming. It lets the detectives know he was anticipating some type of blunt confrontation.
That's my prime objective is to find her.
Definitely.
I think time's running out on her. I want to find this girl. I need to find her.
Kind of true.
And here's a couple reasons I need to find her.
Kidnap
One
victims
is,
don't last very long.
I'm hoping that she's still
Depending
alive.
on the age.
And that's really, I really do. I'm holding out for that.
I don't know how old she is, though.
And if she's not alive, then I think she and her family are due that knowledge. I think I think they need some closure. Because I think the reality is if somebody's, dead somewhere, a parent would want to know. I think do you have kids?
No.
Okay, so one day when you have kids, the uncertainty is whatever kind of a person she is. And I'm not about to say what kind of a person she is, because I'm not making any judgments. I'm saying that this human being is, if she's alive, then I want to find her. I need to make sure she's okay, because several days now she hasn't been around. Things happen to the human body, and people can't stand
21.
a lot of things that can transpire. But the other thing is, if she's not, this family deserves better than this. This family deserves better than somebody who works with her and who's got knowledge and won't tell the police because they're worried about their own ass. Because that's pretty cheap. I'm gonna
He's
be honest
talking
with you.
about him.
And
I agree.
your feelings in it, I don't really care about your feelings. What I care about is finding her. So where is she?
I don't know where she is.
Where is Savannah?
I don't know.
I need to know where Savannah is so I
I
can
don't
let her
know
family
where
know.
she is.
You don't know because
I love how
you had
quickly
something
an
done with
interrogation
her and
room,
you weren't involved.
like, I don't mean to interrupt the exciting part, but like I mean, I don't want to get into a discussion about cops, but as somebody who's studied criminal justice, a ton of it is learning about how cops abuse their position. I love a good interview, though. Detectives are so good at their job in terms of this. In terms of the interrogation room, they really are fucking so good psychologically at shit like this, and I love watching them like marinate the suspect and just immediately fucking 180 him. So not yesterday's detective. Yeah, you ever think about having sex? No, liar. That guy was weird.
Involved in that part? I don't know. Tell me something.
Pink shirt guy needed
What
a
can
new
I
job.
work with?
I told you the last time I saw her.
But that's not true because we have proof.
This moment would have been rehearsed multiple times before the interrogation started. The investigators would have planned who would reveal the surveillance to the suspect, and at roughly what moment. The suspect had been confronted multiple times, and the situation was now fully transparent, yet he continued to maintain his innocence by clinging on to his narrative. It becomes evident that he isn't going to budge, so the female detective takes the initiative. She reveals their final and most substantial piece of evidence for the purpose of maximizing the pressure.
We have proof. And that's why we're sitting here, Lee. At this point, we need this for her. I mean, I look at that little girl and I think of my little girl. My little girl who's her age. That's who I think about.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be playing.
That was my little girl. I couldn't imagine. I don't care what she said about you or whatever, but my little girl is that age.
Maybe.
And you're not telling the truth.
Maybe something gets out of hand in the car.
I didn't do anything.
Okay, you didn't do anything, but she was in your car. She never got out of your car. She never got out of your car. Lee?
We're not saying that you did anything.
The girl detective's really good. She crying?
I didn't say you
I
did
don't know
anything.
where she is.
Well,
Not
we
probably
can
not
prove
truly.
that you
She's
left with her in
trying
the
to mess
car.
with him.
So please,
She's trying to mess with him
do
emotionally.
everybody a favor and just tell us.
She might not even have
Where
a
is she?
daughter that age.
You got to be able.
But they don't need to know that.
Be able to separate. We're not sitting here saying you did anything to her. I don't know. She's on drugs. Maybe she passed. I don't know. I'm not in that car with you guys. I know that she's in that car with you. I have proof of all of this.
Okay, let me ask you, Lee. Then tell us now if you're being an honest man. Are you being honest?
Yes.
No.
Let's start being honest. She never got out of your back seat, Lee. She never got out of your back seat. Video cameras don't lie.
Lee.
How do you know? How do you think I know this information, Lee? I wasn't there, but a video camera caught it.
Tell me what happened.
And it's too late.
I don't know.
What? What
And it's too
happened?
late because the dumbass already told him he was there.
Is that what happened? I don't know. I'm not in the car with you guys. You just said she was in your car and she had
Too late.
admittedly had done heroin.
This is a cross between the how and why solution and the alternative question. Both are used to lower the gauge of admission for the purpose of getting one foot in the door, which will then become the new foundation for building the case. The how and why solution essentially blames the victim, while at the same time minimizes the motivations behind the crime. The alternative question plants a seed in the suspect's mind, where they are given an alternative and far more morally accepting choice for what happened. It's a smart move, yet the suspect doesn't fall for it on this occasion.
Bodies overdose all the time. Is that what happens? Does she overdose?
I wasn't there. Oh wait, I said I was there. So oops.
That is what
It's too late because I literally admitted to being there.
We can't falsify.
He can't even be like, I wouldn't know I wasn't there. He literally said he was there.
I'm not lying to you.
Idiot.
Because you know I'm telling
Stupid.
the truth. Because you know that's what's on the video. How else would I know that? I don't, unless I have the video. Where did you go with her?
I didn't go anywhere with
You
her.
did.
No.
You
Oh
did.
shit. There's an ad, sorry. I wasn't paying attention. Don't worry about it. I skipped back a few seconds. Just we're chilling. We're chilling, don't worry. I don't know when I'm supposed to be playing Valorant in this tournament. Yeah, don't worry. Anybody new here, I typically pause when an ad plays because I know a lot of this stuff is really important. I mean, this is just fascinating content to me. I don't want to get cut off by an ad myself, but like also it's my job. Like I do this full time, so I need something in terms of compensation, I guess. Actually, what I will do, excuse me, I'm going to open up my dashboard over on this monitor so I can see better if an ad's going to play. Because it'll send me like there will be a little thing being like pre-rolls have been disabled or whatever. So I'll be able to tell a little bit better unless I see you guys saying stuff. So yeah, I appreciate it. I reeled back the footage a bit, probably around the time the ad played. So yeah, seriously. I wish there's a better solution. I mean, you could always subscribe, but I know a lot of you might not be financially stable to the point where you can do something as altruistic as subbing. So it's not a big deal. The ad 60 seconds, it keeps my roof over my head and it keeps me making content for y'all. So I've rolled back the footage. I paused. So I think we're chilling. Let's keep going.
Okay, well, tell us when you left with her in the
Plus, I
car,
got a wedding to
because
fund,
that
so
is
we're
what's
securing the
shown.
bag one way or another.
We can't make up that. We can't falsify a video camera, Lee. I'm not lying to you because you know I'm telling the truth because you know that's what's on the video. How else would I know that? I don't, unless I have the video. Where did you go with her?
I didn't go anywhere with
You
her.
did.
No.
You did. So the video camera's lying?
Yeah.
No, this. I mean,
Well, I'm
It's
telling you.
doctored footage or being
The
set
surveillance
up.
footage was no doubt
Phil's
incriminating
playing It
evidence,
Takes Two.
yet wouldn't close out a
Good.
case on its own that
Good
easily.
game.
The investigators need a confession and continue to apply pressure in a relentless manner. They attack the suspect's character while simultaneously appealing to his sense of morality.
I'm telling you, I'm not lying to you. I'm not making that up. That's why I'm so passionate about this. This is someone's
8,000
child. You might
viewers.
not have kids, but damn it, she's someone's kid. We're fact finders, Lee. I don't have anything personal
I guess this
against
is good
you.
content.
No,
huh?
not at all. I mean, it's
We're just fact
just
finders.
tell us
We're
what
just
happened.
doing
Where
our
is she?
job. No, no, no. Where did you go with her? Where did you go with her, Lee? Be a human. You're a human. You're a man. Where did you go with her? I know you're not that cruel inside. Seriously. Where did you go with her?
maybe you
Please.
maybe you don't know where she is now. Where did you go with her?
Please. I'm begging you, Lee. Please. Please tell us. Please don't make us waste any more of our time. Just tell us. Please tell us. Please. I'm begging you. I know you're not evil.
It's stupid if he
Just
admits
tell
to
us
it here,
where
by
she
the way.
is. I'm begging you. Please. Please. Can you please just tell me?
Even if he's caught here, it's smart. It's stupid to
Where
admit
did you
to
go
it.
with her then? Can you
At least tell us that.
Legally,
at
it's a
least
bad
tell us that
idea.
part? Where did you go with her after?
Because the
She knew
police will
that
just
your
use his
car, and you know
admittance
that,
to it
obviously,
to-
'cause I
and
know
we do.
that.
to
That's why
nail him.
we're here.
During the trial.
Just tell us where. Where did you go with her? Tell us that. At least point us in that direction. I owe her family. We've been. No one's. We're not saying anything that you intentionally did anything. Just tell us where you went.
When y'all left out of there, you went down Claire Lane, you made a left on San Jose about to 295, and you get up on 295. Okay. Where else did you go before you went home? I mean, I know you eventually went home,
I
but
didn't go anywhere. I went straight home.
okay. So what did y'all do when you got home? Savannah was with you. She was with you. And that's okay at that point, but I need to know what. Where did you go from
She's
there?
good, dude. She's fucking good at
She's
this
still
shit.
working
She
on it?
waited 30 minutes to take her time
Okay.
to figure
She's still
out
in your car.
everything to use against him, pretty much. That's
Okay.
nuts.
Well, then where is she?
Her overly emotional actions would get this thrown out of court if he had a real lawyer. No, it fucking wouldn't. Cops are allowed to be deceptive inside of an interrogation room. Yeah, okay, dude. Just say you don't like women and you're mad that she's doing a good job. I don't fucking know what to tell you, dude. What the hell are you talking about? The dude's dumb enough to not ask for a lawyer. So they can't throw this out because he didn't ask for a lawyer. So it's not going to get thrown out. It doesn't matter if there would be a lawyer. He's dumb enough to not have one here. And she knows that, so she's taking advantage of it. That's their whole job, is to be deceptive, catch him in a lie, and then nail him to the fucking wall to put his ass in jail. What the fuck are you talking about? She's being emotional. Yeah, she's fucking with him. That's the point. She's literally fucking with him. You wouldn't have said shit if this guy would have been like, oh, my 21-year-old daughter's the same age. You want to do this? You wouldn't have fucking said shit. You wouldn't have said anything if the guy had said it. Shut the hell up. Fucking weirdo, dude. Don't be mad because somebody that's not a male is more successful at their job than you'll ever be at life in general. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know where she is.
Okay, then where did you last drop her off at?
I didn't drop her off.
Okay, well, tell me.
What happened? Where'd you guys go?
We went to my house.
This is a breakthrough. The investigators have got Lee to amend his story once more by lowering the level of
Unreal.
admission, and this shows that he can still be influenced. As stated earlier, they were trying to get one foot in the door, which they have now done, and this is their new platform to build on the more damnatory elements.
We did some jokes.
Also, stuff doesn't get thrown out of court because the person asking the questions was too emotional. Huh? It gets thrown out due to irrelevancy or anything else besides. She asked it kind of weird. She asked it while she was crying, so I don't think that counts. What do you fucking watch? You fucking watch goddamn Law and Order and fucking think that's reality? Like, I don't even think that's happened in Law and Order. Like, where are you even thinking of this? What the hell? Like, I don't even understand, dude. What a weirdo. What a weird fucking reach, being like this. Successful female alert. Here I go. What are you talking about? She's fucking killing this shit. This dude is an idiot. She waited 30 minutes to listen to this dumbass, catch him in multiple lies because he's dumb enough to not get a lawyer to tell him otherwise, and she's taking full advantage of it. And the fact that you think that she's being overly emotional, and that's what you're focused on. You're focused on her being emotional, which she's not. She's tricking the dude for being an idiot because he killed somebody and admitted to being there. So she's taking advantage of that. And your dumbass cares that it's a girl being emotional. It's called deceiving, and they're allowed to do it inside of this interrogation room. Don't seep your fucking misogyny into my stream chat. I don't fucking care. I don't care what you think this girl is doing. She's doing her fucking job. She's manipulating a fucking murderer. Like, emotional, yeah. Yeah. Did you kill that man? We saw you on camera. We saw you on camera kill that man. You need to admit to it. Please admit to it. I am human. You are human. Please admit to it. I am human. God, that's so much better. You're right. Maybe she should not be a human and try to make him act like he should be normal, which he isn't, because he's a dickhead. And she's fucking with him. Weirdo.
And then she said she was gonna catch him and go home.
What was going on in the
Didn't do
backseat?
anything to
What was going on in the backseat? For the doors to be kicked open. She kicked open that door 3 times, Lee. She kicked it. We saw it. Where's Savannah?
She's not even being that emotional.
You know.
How is this
Lee,
emotional?
we understand. Listen,
She's
we
just saying we have
understand.
fucking
I'm not trying to
footage.
hint you up on anything, man. I'm telling you, I'm thinking about this girl and her family. And your family.
He's being too emotional. It's gonna get thrown out. He's being too emotional.
She was. Sorry.
Please tell me where to go find her.
This dude is actually about to admit in an interrogation room that not only did he kill a girl where he dumped the body because they're tugging on his heartstrings, but let's get mad that a woman is showing some heart. And not that the guy's doing it. The guy's done it just as much as she has. But let's get mad about the girl doing the same thing because you're a sexist motherfucker. Yeah? Just own it, dude. You're a piece of shit. It's fine. Go somewhere else with it. Go with all of the other degenerates that will agree with you.
That's how people.
They ain't here.
The released footage of the interrogation tape cuts off at this exact moment. The state's attorney has been contacted by multiple sources to release the next segment, but has so far refused to do so. All we know is that Lee Rodarte admitted to killing Savannah Gold. The only information that is currently released is that he proclaimed to have killed Savannah by breaking her neck. He then took her back to his house where he burned her body in a self-made fire pit and then dumped her in a lake at the dead end of a secluded road. Savannah had injuries to over 75% of her body. The medical examiner was unable to pinpoint the exact cause of death. The only conclusion was that it was a violent homicide. The segment of admission was cut, yet the JSO
Dickhead.
released the footage that came just moments after. It shows a human being experiencing an emotional reckoning so overwhelming, while also trying to process the terrifying nature of his immediate situation.
Loser. Life over, dude. Dumbass. Mm-hmm. Probably. He ain't leaving jail, dude. He's gonna take the fattest plea bargain, the fastest ever. Like, he's gonna get a defense attorney, and they're gonna be like, "Take the plea. I don't want to do this shit," because he fucking admitted to all of it in an interrogation, which through the Miranda rights, they will use all of it because they legally can. So, idiot, absolute fucking dumbass.
Fucking idiot, Lee. Fucking stupid.
Yeah. Oh, just a little bit.
You here?
Oh, well, he seems remorseful. Let's just let him go. Not. One more thing. I'm going to bury a misogynist one more time really quick just because it's funny. So, first of all, this is a funny shot. This guy's... Even if, for some reason, this guy's lawyer decided to use the argument that the girl was too emotional when asking these questions, which isn't a fucking thing, by the way. That's a dumb fucking reach. What stupid fuck logic is that? You know what all they have to say is, it got him to admit to literally murdering somebody and told us where the body is. So we're using our interrogation right of deception to mess with him emotionally. Or the judge will just say, "Shut the fuck up, that's stupid," and not sustain his fucking objection or whatever the fuck. Like, just be mad. I mean, go ahead, be mad all you want. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? I think you should go outside. Go outside. Go outside and do something. Do something for yourself, because clearly somebody else being good at what they're doing is bothering you. It's because it's a girl. I mean, cry harder. Seriously. Stay mad. This girl just got a murderer to admit to it in an interrogation. That's incredible. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen every day. You don't trick a guy so hard that not only do you catch him in the lie, he names where he was when he killed the victim, admits to killing the victim, says exactly what he did and where the body is in the entire police investigation or the interrogation. He admitted to all of it. I guarantee you this trial did not even go to court. It didn't even go to court. I guarantee you he fucking took a plea bargain immediately because he's fucked. 70% of legal cases in America end in plea bargains because they trap the person into thinking they have no other choice, or they take the risk of taking a sentence way longer than if they just take the plea bargain. Yeah? And that's for people that think they can be innocent or are innocent and have no choice. This guy is nailed to the fucking wall before the court even starts, before the judge is even involved. He's going to get an attorney, and the attorney's going to be like, "No, take the plea bargain. I'm not going to," like, no. Guaranteed. He'll tell him immediately to take the bargain. And it's because of her. She did it. She did that. Because of what you were complaining about.
The instant anguish over his decision to confess,
I'm sure your mom is very proud of you for that comment.
Ahead, will have forged a unique emotional distress that very few will ever experience. It's a harrowing sight, and under different circumstances would be extremely difficult for most people to witness. Yet we are now couched within the context of events that led up to this moment, and this will make its observation far more tolerable, but by no means easy.
Is this just him crying? This long? God damn.
Shit.
Yep, yeah, you are.
I was a bitch to you. How does that make any sense?
What a fucking
Get the
asshole.
clear shift coat.
What? Okay, bro. Loser.
It's not supposed to be you. It's not supposed to be me. It's supposed to make something of your fucking life.
I don't know if this dude thinks saying this stuff out loud in this room is gonna make them feel differently, but I mean, it's too late.
Hey, going places, man. Your fucking head.
Why'd he kill her? Didn't say.
Could've told her, you know.
Didn't really say.
Lee was remanded into custody and taken to the Duval County Jail where he was denied bond. In spite of the overwhelming evidence against
believe
him
it.
and the prospect of life in prison without the possibility of parole, he pled not guilty and claimed that Savannah's killing was an act of self-defense, even though he stands at 5'11", weighing 163 pounds, while Savannah was just 5 feet tall and weighed 91 pounds. He claimed that he was in fear of his life after she slapped him multiple times in the face, at which point he grabbed her neck, felt a pop, and realized he had accidentally broke it, resulting in her death. The state's attorney's office had no comment on this motion. All they have stated is that this trial is expected to commence during the summer of 2020.
Oops. What the fuck? You know what definitely happened? The defense attorney was like, this ain't gonna happen, dude. You gotta do this. And he was like, no, what if fucking it was defense and her neck just like yeah? And he's like, no, and he's okay, we're doing that. Wow. What a wild one. That was something else, dude. This shit's fascinating. I love it. I love how remarkably dense these people are. Seriously.